Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing this beautiful jewel tone blue and purple set with some bling. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell and hit like, and we'll just get right into it. So I'm starting with pushing back my cuticles. I'm just sure to go real gently. So I kind of do this twice. So I do it first with my cuticle pusher, and then I go in with a Russian manicure bit set, and I use this one just to get around the cuticle, and then I use another one that you'll see here in a moment to kind of get up any excess, and then it also pushes back the cuticle even further for me. I just want to be very gentle when I'm pushing back the cuticle, and then once I go in with the bit, it kind of helps detach my cuticle from the nail a little bit and then pushes it back further. Of course, I'll have everything that I'm using today linked down below in the description box. And then I'm just using this cuticle bit. It's just a diamond cuticle bit to gently go around and file off any dead skin and cuticle. So you want to use this at a really low speed and just be very gentle, using no pressure, just to get any excess dead cuticle off. So this bit was also in that same set, and this is the one that I use just to get off any excess that I might have missed with the first one, and then again it pushes back my cuticle even further. And I do also use it to polish my skin and get off any kind of hangnails or roughness. And then once I'm done with that, I go in to prep and remove any surface shine with my mandrel and arbor band. And I am using a fine arbor band, again on a very slow speed. You don't want it to be too fast because you can very easily remove too much of your nail plate and thin it out or create rings of fire or burns. So just very gentle. This is just 70% isopropyl alcohol or rubbing alcohol, just spraying that on my hand and brush to just clean up all of that remaining dust. And then I go in very quickly and press my cuticles back just once more, but not really, just to make sure that they're still sitting back, because sometimes they like to scoot forward and I'm not sure why. So it's just to make sure they're sitting back where they're supposed to be before I go in and apply my product. So here I'm just using my prep and dehydrator. I do go in with 2 coats of that, and then I use my ASP Extra Strength Primer. Sometimes I do use 2 coats of the ASP primer, especially when I'm using acrylic, but today I'm going to be gluing on some full well tips, and I've never used a primer when using a nail glue like this, so I wanted to try it just to see if it made any difference. So for this is a Mia Secret nail glue, and I'm using a very thin coat on my nail bed, and then I'm letting that get tacky for like 7 seconds or so, and then I put a little bit on the actual tip and press it on, and that gives me really good adhesion. These nails actually lasted longer than I wanted them to. I did them as press-ons like this, or glued on tips if you will, because I had planned on doing another set very soon and I didn't want to have to file off a ton of product. So I did it this way, and I was assuming that after about a week they would be loose enough that I could probably pop them off easily, but this glue really adhered well, and after a week and a half I still had none coming off. So I did end up soaking them a bit, and then I was able to pop them off without damaging my nail bed. So now I'm just using a 100 grit file. Well, it's a 100-180 grit, and I'm using the 100 side to just shape my tips after I had cut them. And I've shown that before, how I measured my tips to make sure that they're all the same. I used 2 forms that had been pressed together, and then just used that as a guide to mark each nail and cut them where I wanted them. Then I go in and shape them like this and smooth them out. So today, as you saw before in my preview picture, I'm doing a short coffin shape And I did them shorter because I didn't want them to pop off consistently, and because they are just glued on, I was sure that if they were any longer, they would get tugged on constantly. So I went with a shorter length. So I did go ahead and spray them again with the alcohol just because I wanted to make sure this is exactly where I needed it to be and see if there was any edges I needed to kind of file off from the underneath side. And then I went through with the Nail Couture Smoothie Buffer just to take the shine off of those tips so that I would have good adhesion with my polygel. So it is just a light buff that I'm doing, not a lot of work here, just to make sure I go over all of the areas and remove that shine and create a little bit of texture for that polygel. And then once again, cleaning them off with alcohol. I would rather clean more than less. So that's why you see me doing it so often. And then I am using a brand new Beetles Polygel in the shade Light Pink. And they do have other polygels that are not as new, but this color is brand new. And it is posted on Amazon. Of course, the link, like I said, is always in the description for everything that I am using. And using their base gel as well. Going over all 10 fingers, then curing for 90 seconds for this base. On that nail, I had just gotten a little bit underneath, so I just used my brush just to clean it up with a little bit of alcohol. So it looks like I actually did a flash cure on that finger, and then I go in and do my other ones, and then do the full cure. And I'm making sure to really work that into that nail just to make sure that we get really good adhesion. It's not absolutely necessary to work it in this much onto a tip. It's very necessary for your natural nail, but not so much for a tip. But I do it all the time just so that I can remain in good practice. Look at this color, guys. How pretty is this? It's a really nice light pink. I generally don't use my polygels just on their own without colors, but I did leave some blank spots for this one because I liked it so much. Now this is a pretty soft polygel. I don't know if you caught just a moment ago where I'd squeeze it onto the nail, and then the next time you saw it, it was kind of falling to the side. That's because I took a second to clean off my brush and it kind of drooped to the side. So I'm not used to working with such a soft polygel, so it does take me a moment here to kind of get my groove, if you would say, I guess. But you'll see here in just a second. Once I realized the consistency of it and learned that it's less of a patting motion and more of a kind of gentle pat and sweeping motion that works really well with this one, I was able to shape the nail very easily. I generally like firmer polygels, which is why I never really worked with one so soft, because I'm usually very sure to read reviews and watch other videos to make sure I'm purchasing really firm polygels. But this one is softer, and you can see it's really easy to work with. You just have to have the right hand with it. You just can't press on it like you do with all the other firm polygels. So if you like soft polygels, you will love this one. You definitely want to make sure that you are flash curing them between nails. I do mine for like 10 to 20 seconds just so that it doesn't move while I'm working on the other nails. Because this one is soft as much as it is, it will move if you don't give it a flash cure. So you can see here I'm just doing very, very gentle sweeping motions, and the nail turns out really nicely. there was not a lot of filing on this set afterwards, guys. So here's the set. I'm just going to wipe it down. There is that tacky layer, of course, for the uncured polygel. And so I'm just wiping it off with some rubbing alcohol. And then we'll go into the filing. And you can see, like I said previously, it wasn't a ton of filing needed. Of course, it did need smoothed out and kind of debulked in some areas, but not as much as I've, had other times. So I was really happy with this set, and it really does hold up very well. So I really do like this product. I want to try their clear because that one's newer as well. And I want to see if it's similar to this because I'd be happy to work with this one again. So I'm just shaping the nails, starting with the sidewalls. And then I go underneath just to crisp up that line. And then once I do that on all of my nails, I will switch to the e-file. But I like to get those sidewalls straight and that underneath line crisp before, and my free edge. I straighten out that free edge as well before I move on to my e-file. So the big thing with these is that once I was done applying the polygel, they look more like a square shape than a coffin shape. So I did need to debulk that tip quite a bit and really put them back in that coffin shape. But that was where the most debulking came from. And that was totally my fault. So I'm going in first here with a sanding band on about a medium speed. I do turn it up here, and then I believe I turn it up even faster than that. But I start by going around the cuticles and just over the surface of the nail after that, down the sidewalls and everything, and just making sure the whole nail is smoothed and to the general shape that I want it to be. So this was my first time using this drill. I already posted my AirC drill review, which I'll have linked up in the iCards for you. So that was why I started on a lowest speed and continued to turn it up a bit. So I always kind of use the same motion on each nail, and then I go throughout all the nails before progressing to the next step. And I do go over the nails after using the e-file with a regular file as well. Because this is polygel, it's really easy to file. So I'm not so great with the e-file at getting it perfectly smooth. So that's why I do go over it with a file and buffer after the e-file as well. Here I was just brushing off the excess dust from the e-file. I didn't use alcohol this time, I just brushed it off dry so I could get a good look at what I was working with. And I'm using a 180 grit file just to, like I said, smooth over that shape. And then I'm going to go around the cuticles very gently just to ensure that I do have them nicely flush and that there's not going to be a big line or having it come back too far, that there is that little hairline gap between the product and the cuticle. So after using that file, I use again my Nail Couture smoothie buffer in the 80 grit to do just the final buffing of the nails so that I can go in with my polish and designs. I was so happy with how this set turned out, guys. I got so many compliments on this set, and I have the funniest story. It's kind of weird, so a little bit inappropriate, I guess. So if you don't want to hear, maybe skip ahead 30 seconds. But basically I had to go into the doctor for an exam, and I was holding my chesticle area, I'll say. I was holding my boob up. And my doctor was examining me, and as I'm holding myself there, she was like, "Oh, I love your nails." And I was like, "What?" Well, thanks, but what a weird time to say that. Oh, I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Okay, you're a weirdo." I'm just joking, but it was funny. But sorry, I had to share that. I just thought it was too funny. So anyways, back to what I'm doing here. So I'm using some blooming watercolors by Yogi and dabbing them back and forth to get a pattern that I like. And now I'm using these rose gold jewel stickers that I bought from Maniology. And I'm just trying to kind of size it against the nail so I can see where I want that color to go. And then after I laid down the color, now I'm just pressing on that sticker using the instructions given on the back of the package and smoothing it over first with my finger just to get it mostly down as much as it needs to be, and then using a orange wood stick just to get all of those little air bubbles and pockets off, and then trimming off the excess. And then I did actually, I think, have to file the very free edge of that just to get it nicely smoothed out. But I'm going to come back to that nail in just a little bit, but first I'm going to take this OPI nail polish in the shade March in Uniform. I'm using it with a liner brush to create a diagonal cut on my tip of my nail. And then once I got that line drawn, I just go in with the regular brush from the polish bottle to fill in the gap and kind of perfect the line a little bit more. Because that brush has got a straight edge on it, it is easier for me a little bit to just perfect and make that line really crisp. Guys, let me know what you think, if you wanted this to be sped up more or if you like how slow it is right now. I had someone ask that I don't speed up my videos as much, but I don't mind watching videos that are sped up so much because it makes them shorter. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you want me to keep it. I think this was at 1.5 speed, so just barely over what I was doing in normal speed. So just let me know. I can do it either way, just depending on what you guys like. Or I can do different sections at different speeds, like when I was doing the original prep and shaping of the nail. I was doing that at regular speed as well. So yeah, just let me know. Okay, so once I got the nails that I wanted to be solid painted, I'm just using some pure acetone on a little fine nail art brush just to clean up my cuticles and edges. And then I'm showing you guys this watercolor liquid on the other hand as well, because I love watching people do this. I think it's so fun to watch how people do it and see how they get the looks that they do. Plus this one I wanted to be more splotchy because it wasn't going to be underneath any nail stickers like the other hand. So I used this technique of spritzing some alcohol over top of it to get it to kind of blend and splotch a bit. And then I also used the clear liquid in the watercolor to create circles and like splotches, I guess, throughout the color as well. The thumb on this hand is my favorite out of the whole set. It came out so beautifully. You'll see. And then I wanted this finger just to have more vibrancy, I guess. It wasn't as bright as I wanted, so I went over with those liquid watercolors on top of that gem as well. And then, like I said, this is the clear liquid that came in that same line of watercolor liquids. Just trying to create some like gaps and circles and splotches throughout. I did the same technique on the thumb, which is why I didn't show it. I hope you guys don't mind, but it did turn out pretty, didn't it? So I'm just using a few different glitter polishes to add some texture and dimension to some of the solid nails. So I'm starting with this teal fleck polish, and I didn't necessarily love the look for this set, so this is the only nail I use this one on. So after dabbing that polish on, I decided I was going to put some glitter at the back of a couple of my nails. So I'm just using some liquid latex to go around the nails on those fingers so that I can dab on the glitters without getting it all over my skin. And now I'm just using it's like a blue and purple, a little bit silver, but mostly blue and purple glitter. And this one I got at the Dollar Tree. So it doesn't really have a name, but it has a number. So that'll be listed down below if I can find it. If not, then I apologize. I do my best, guys. I really do. I visit every site, I Google, I do everything I can to find all the products for you. So if you're wanting to know what I use, just check there because it is all there, I promise you. So after I dabbed that on my thumb, I dabbed it on my finger tip. So I kind of like alternated where I had the glitters. I had the thumb towards the back, the middle finger towards the front. And did I do it on the pinky as well? I think I had it on the back of the pinky. Maybe I didn't put it on the pinky. I think I changed my mind on the pinky. I'm not sure. Yeah, I changed my sorry, I'm not wearing this set anymore, guys. I already soaked it off. So this video is coming to you a bit late. I was sick, lost my voice completely. I know in a previous video you heard my voice cracking like crazy. So I lost my voice completely, and so this video was just kind of sitting there. Okay, so now I'm just taking some of the extension gel that I use as my rhinestone gel, laying that down where I want my bling to go, and coating it with my top coat before I go in and place my little different blings and jewels and rhinestones throughout. So I'm just using an assortment of bling and rhinestones and things. This is like a half pearl. And I tried to get ones that kind of matched the overall look of the set. I think I did a good job. I don't know. Give me a little self pat on the back. I love how this nail looks though. I do wish that the gem from the nail sticker stuck out more. It was not easy to get the look I was going for. Oh well, it still was pretty, so. And I wanted this set to be cohesive, but also different. So I wanted each nail to be different. I didn't want them all to be the same. I didn't want only a couple accent nails. I wanted to do a lot. I wanted to do the most, okay? So yeah, I just did what my heart desired. if you would say, I guess. But hey, I mean, I guess it turned out good. I mean, I know it turned out good because I loved it and I got a lot of compliments on it, so. After I place all of my gems and stones down and cure, I don't do a full cure, I do about a 30-second cure, and then I go back around the stones with my top coat, and then I do the full cure. And these polishes, these top and base coats, need 90 seconds. So basically, after I do that initial gel and top coat, put the gems in, do 30 seconds, do another top coat, do 10 seconds. Then after I get all the nails on that hand done, then I do the 90 seconds. I know that's a lot, but like I just try to keep it in as little like increments as possible without risking the quality. And I apologize, my head keep peeking back in there for you guys. I'm sorry about that. There it is, guys. Look at these nails. Oh, they're so pretty, aren't they? I hope you guys like them because I love them. And look at that thumb, okay? That thumb, girl. Like, Oh, okay. That's it. I'll get out of here. And guys, just let me know what you think down below. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Feel free to share my videos wherever you would like. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.